Hi, I'd like to welcome everyone back to the channel on the college process. Once again, I'm Ed Zamora from Principia Prep, and today we're going to be going over how much can your student make before it affects financial aid. But before we start, if you are new to the channel and are looking for additional college content, please hit the subscription button down below. It will notify you when new videos do come out. As well as if you do enjoy today's video, please leave us a like. It does help the channel. And in addition to that, if you have any comments or any questions throughout today's video, please leave your comments and questions down below in the comment section. I do answer all the comments and questions you guys leave down in the comment section of the videos, as well as, once again, we're running the James Wilson Memorial Scholarship for this year's 21-22 senior class. That is in the description down below, is the link to the video. As well as if you want to help the organization with us making these videos for you guys, helping you guys, providing college content to allow you guys to understand how the college process works. We also have in the description down below as well our Venmo and also our buy us a coffee if you want to also help support the channel. And all of that being said, let's jump right to today's video. How much can your student make before it starts affecting your financial aid? Now, as students coming back from college during the Christmas break here, or as well as your own students now in high school looking to get part-time jobs, you might be wondering at what level, if they are working, is it going to affect us financially if the student makes too much money from financial aid point of view? Because obviously you want to provide your students the opportunity of having that responsibility of getting a part-time job, but you also want to make sure it doesn't affect the financial assistance you're already getting. So right off the bat, I'm going to show you guys basically the thresholds of where it matters if your student is working part-time or even full-time, where it starts affecting your family's financial aid eligibility. And the way I'm going to do that is by showing you guys 3 different groups, which you see here. And that being said, I'm going to use a family size of 4, so let's just say 1 parent and 3 students, or 2 parents and 2 students. So family size of 4 is what I'll be using in these examples here. So group number 1 is going to be families that make under $30,000 as far as the parents. And then group number 2 are going to be families that make between $30,000 to $100,000. And then group number 3 are going to be families that make over $100,000 a year. And how it affects your groups depending on if your student does or does not work and how much income they have coming in. Now, right off the bat, let me just start off by saying that if your student is looking to do a work-study program at that college or is already doing a work-study program, don't worry about it. Work-study does not count towards financial aid eligibility. Work-study only counts towards basically the IRS as far as getting taxed on. It does count for that. But as far as financial aid goes, if your student doing work study, it does not count whatsoever. It's the amount they're able to work towards as far as income that affects your financial assistance. So if they're doing work study, not a problem, not going to affect you guys whatsoever. And that being said, let's jump right into group number 1. So if your family's making the parents less than $30,000 a year, realistically, it doesn't matter. Because very likely you're going to be in that situation where your expected family contribution, what they expect the family to pay towards that student's college education for 1 academic year, is not going to count at all. So your student can essentially make tens of thousands of dollars, and it doesn't matter. Whether it's a combination of outside work, whether it's work study, whether it's both, it doesn't matter. For group number 1, if you have an income of less than $30,000, your student can make almost any income, and it's not going to affect you whatsoever. So if your student wants to go out there and just hustle and work and do whatever it is they want to do, not a problem. Let them go out and earn as much as they want. Not going to affect your financial aid here. That being said, let's talk about group number 2. Families are making over $30,000 to roughly around $100,000. For you guys, there is a cutoff. You want to make sure that your student does not make more than $6,500. $6,500 is basically the line where they start counting the income against you. So once your student makes over $6,500, they automatically, any money they make, they'll automatically look at the student to pay 50 cents on the dollar for every additional dollar they make. So if your student were to go out and start working, and let's say they made $7,500, what'll happen is you put in the system, the Fafsa form, the CSS, and everything else, that your student made $7,500. What'll happen is the system itself, whatever form you're filling out, will back out $6,500, indicating that that $1,000 left over will be assessed at a rate of 50 cents on the dollar. So they're automatically going to indicate that you guys, based on the student's income, can pay an additional $500 towards the cost of college, in addition to whatever the parent is supposed to be paying based on their income and assets. So as you can see here, $6,500 is the threshold for the student income if you're making $30,000 to $100,000, because any money above that, they're going to use it against you, basically dwindling down your financial aid space to provide you financial aid assistance. And some of you may be thinking, well, Ed, if we only make $7,500, it's not that big of a deal. We're just losing $500 of financial aid space, which is true. However, that $500 of lost space, if you're getting a Pell Grant, is a big deal. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're getting a $1,000 Pell Grant, and let's say your student does make the $7,500. Well, you just lowered that Pell Grant from $1,000 down to $500. Not only that, you also lowered down any SEOG, any Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant you've gotten will very likely be either taken away or also reduced by $500. In addition to that, if you're getting state aid, that will be reduced by $500, as well as the school itself can also reduce their aid by $500. So the reality is you're not losing $500 for that extra $1,000 they made. You're technically losing $2,000. So you're losing 4 times what the form increase is going to show. So you have to make sure, if you're between that $30,000 to $100,000, you want to make sure to limit your student's income to $6,500. Now this only covers grant money, by the way. So if your student's only getting scholarship money in this group for $30,000 to $100,000 income parent-wise, doesn't matter. You can have the student work as much as they want. If the school's only giving you a scholarship, it's not going to affect it. It's the grant money we're talking about here. In addition to that, let's go into group 3, which is the $100,000 and above income levels and how you guys look on paper when your students start making income. Now for the $100,000 and above group, you're basically at the same threshold, the $6,500. Any number above that will automatically start triggering that you guys lose financial aid space. Now there's an asterisk here. Everyone always asks me, well, at what level of an income, as far as a high level of income, does not matter anymore? And for you guys, those asking those questions, it's really that $250,000 number. If you're making over $250,000, you're already based on the expected family contribution for a family of 4, just based on your income. They're already expecting you to pay $77,000 towards the cost of college. So the reality is there's not much space there. So if you're making over $250,000, you can let the student work as much as they want because it's not going to have a negative effect. You're already paying the full freight anyways. In addition to that, if you're looking at public schools in-state, or if you're looking at schools, public schools out of state, and you're making over $100,000, typically they're not going to give you any financial assistance because most state schools, unless you're making under $50,000, some cases $60,000, most state schools will not give you any state aid and will definitely not give you any federal aid. So you really have to be looking at the private colleges. But if you are looking at private colleges and your income is below the 250 level, then obviously getting any income from the student coming in will obviously have a huge effect on you guys financially speaking. And you'll see here why I'm saying that. Let's just say that your income is roughly $100,000 and your student is making, let's say, $10,000. Well, what will happen is, based on this situation, your student is technically losing you $1,750 because they're increasing your expected family contribution. So think of it this way. If you're in the range where you know the school is going to give you financial assistance, if it's a private college, most private colleges give a lot more money, unfortunately, good, bad, or different, than the public institutions. So what you want to make sure is you want to provide them as much space as possible to give you aid. Because if you are looking at a private college situation or you are looking at a Pell Grant situation, think of it this way. For every $2 that your student makes, you will be losing $1 in financial aid. So the reality is, you need to think about it. Does an extra $1,000 or extra $2,000 over the $6,500 make sense for our student to go out there and get? Or does it make sense for them to just get capped at $6,500? That way it's going to allow us to make sure we're getting the maximum amount of financial assistance. And of course, if you want to kind of figure all this out and where I'm doing all these numbers here and showing you guys kind of where all the numbers come in as far as what your students should make, what they shouldn't make, the best thing you guys can do is go to the school's net price calculators. They will also show you what I'm showing you guys here of how much of an effect it will have for you guys if your student is working at what level income-wise they're working at. Now, all that being said, as a quick summary here, if you're making less than $30,000, it doesn't matter. Your student can make as much as they want. If you're making over $250,000, same situation, your student can make as much as they want. The student's income will basically be irrelevant. But for that second group, that $30,000 and up, as well as the $100,000 and up until, let's say, the $200,000, $250,000 range, especially if you guys are looking at private schools, I would be looking to minimize the student's income because I don't want that negatively taking away financial assistance from us, especially in some cases where it's going to affect you guys that for every $2 they make, you will lose $1 in financial aid space, which is obviously a big drop. And all that being said, if you do enjoy today's video, please leave us a like. In addition, if you have any comments, any questions, please leave the comments and questions down below in the comment section. I answer any questions you guys have. And in addition to all that, once again, I want to remind everyone we're running the James Russo Memorial Scholarship this year. If you're looking for scholarships for your senior this year for 21-22, the James Russo Memorial Scholarship, down below in the description is a link to the video to explain how the scholarship works. And also in addition to that, if you are looking to help us out here at the channel to keep making videos for you guys and support us here, once again, in the description down below, we have the Venmo as well as the Buy Us a Coffee if you want to help support the channel. And other than that, on the screen you see our contact information. If you need help with the financial aid portion of your college path here or the admissions part, I do help out with both. On the screen is my cell phone number. You can either call me or send me a text, as well as if you'd like, you can also send us an email. And other than that, thank you for watching today's video. Once again, I'm Ed from Principia Prep.